I think that the most telling part of this entire war thus far, and who knows when it will end, we hope soon. But
Yes.
the most telling part is the way that the far right in the United States is responding. And it seems like they're pivoting their messaging to be more like, this is Biden's war, it's his fault. But early in the week, we had Tucker Carlson saying that Putin's never done anything to him personally. He never cut him off in traffic. So, like, whatevs. Why should I care? To the line of Putin's even a good guy. And we've got a range of that. So, a former Trump official, an aide saying, quote, if Putin wants to throw some cold water on American expansionism and interventionism for whatever reason, it's a good thing. We're overly aggressive and need another bully on the world stage to check our worst impulses. Hell yeah, that's what you do. When you've got a rabid dog, you just put another rabid dog in there, and then there's peace.
A
They,
rabid dog that hates democracy and doesn't even have any pretense of caring about human rights.
yeah, no, that's the way.
You can't say positive things about someone on the level of Hitler. You just don't ever say it. It's just you can say anything else but positive things about them.
Yes, and they're all basically dancing around a full endorsement of Vladimir Putin. This is essentially a like, tell me your party is paid by Russians without telling me your party is paid by Russians. JD Vance is saying, I think it's ridiculous we're focused on this border in Ukraine. I got to be honest with you, I don't really care what happens in Ukraine one way or another. Cute. Now here we have McConnell, who's pivoting a little bit more to Biden, as I think we're going to see, saying, I don't believe Vladimir Putin would have a couple 100,000 troops on the border of Ukraine had we not precipitously withdrawn from Afghanistan last August. But that's where we are.
God.
That's where we are.
That's where we are.
Well, you know, JD Vance completely turned once he realized that there's 80,000 Ukrainians in Ohio and they vote. And so that's why he flipped 2 days ago. I'm not making this up. So go look at
this.
I'm glad you mentioned that original quote because it was pure. And then once someone said, yo, you're running for office, you got a bunch of Ukrainians in Ohio. Look at his flip, which was remarkable. But, you know, it's amazing that Vladimir Putin has for years cultivated far-right movements in Europe and in America, spent money, the NRA, right? They went there to suck at his teeth for money. Trump, literally his useful idiot that promoted pro-Putin talking points that set the stage for what's happening right now. Fiona Hill, who used to be the top advisor at the White House on Russia, openly said last week that, you know, I never saw Trump ever put America first, ever. His policies told Putin that Ukraine is your playground. Go play in it, right? And so this is what we're dealing with. And you also have, and Francesca, I have to mention this. I know we're running out of time, but there's an amazing report that came out, which I think is like the report people should really read to understand what's happening in America. A 60-page report that talks about the role of white Christian nationalism in the January 6th insurrection, how it motivated it. And white Christian nationalism is part and parcel of the right-wing movement. And white Christian nationalists support Vladimir Putin and Orban as the defenders of Western civilization, which explains why so many of them are looking to them as models and supporting them. That's some scary stuff.
Look at like Christopher. I mean, I always use the example of Christopher Hitchens, who became so anti every religion in the world. No, and then he ends up becoming supporting the Second War.
Yeah, neocon.
It's like, you know, I don't know what my point was there. Just rage.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I want to go to, because of course, everyone is saying this wouldn't have happened under Trump. And they might be right, because yes, Trump was their bitch. They had him wrapped around their finger. They didn't need to do this. NATO was, you know, for better or worse, always sort of going the way of the dinosaur under Trump. I mean, he had foregone any kind of supremacy or sort of even leadership on a national stage. And he was a hothead. You could easily appeal to him, blah, blah, blah. But so Trump keeps on being like, you know, what Putin's great or Putin's like, you know, whoever, he's like trying to see, he's like waiting to see which way the like base goes with this. But here he is saying, this is an answer to what he would do differently if he were president right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would do things, but the last thing I want to do is say it right now, because if somebody asks me that is in a position where they can utilize whatever it is I give them, but I certainly wouldn't want to be talking about.
Wow. It's just like a remarkable bullshit artist. It's amazing he gets away with it too. It's like, what's
Yes.
the answer? Like, can you imagine pulling that shit off if you're like in school? All right, Francesca, what's the answer to this question? I know it, but I'll tell you tomorrow when I'm ready for it. You're
I
not ready
wouldn't
for it
tell
right
you.
now.
State secret.
How about when he said the other day, he goes, oh, Putin goes, he's a smart guy. He goes in there and they say, oh, we'll go sanctions. He goes, I could have a whole country and have sanctions. I mean, that's the way he thinks. Oh, I could have a whole country. He literally has no, I guess they all have this. They don't care who lives and dies.
Yeah,
I really
they don't
think
care.
they're all...
And plus, we have to treat people like, look at his behavior. 2018 in Helsinki, he throws the United States under the bus.
Yeah.
Takes Putin's word over our own law enforcement. He literally gives Putin and Turkey and Assad Syria. He just takes.
He
sold out our allies, right? He attacks NATO. He attacks EU. Every single pro-Putin talking point that you can imagine coming from RTV came from Trump's mouth as president of the United States. So if he,
Yes.
God forbid, was president right now, there would be nothing. There would be like,
Yeah,
he'd be
you
like,
wouldn't notice it was a difference.
he'd blame Ukraine. He like, well, it's their fault for being weak.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I did want to, let's see. We just have to talk a little bit about this. The last, Wendy Rogers, who was a speaker at the America First PAC that I want to talk a little bit about. And we're going to talk about the Christian white nationalists and white supremacists, Putin lovers specifically. But Wendy Rogers is a state senator currently. Right. And this is her today just going ape on some crazy conspiracies. She says the best way to compete with Russia and Europe is to open the Keystone Pipeline. There we go. Lower taxes and spending and invest in Bitcoin. Hashtag Bitcoin. Hashtag America First. That's honestly the most sane. Then she gets crazier. Zelensky is a globalist puppet for Soros and the Clintons.
Oh.
Tell me, just say the word Jew. Just say
right.
Zelensky's Jewish.
Yeah.
Then Macron, Arden, Trudeau, Zelensky. They all report to the same satanic masters.
The global people like me.
Andy. They report to Andy.
They report to Andy.
Hold on, I have to take this call. What?
Well, that's the other Zoom call I have.
And
if the camera tilts to the left, there's like bull's horns and like blood and like satanic like signs and like.
I'm gonna look out after both you two. Don't worry about it.
Please put in a good word for me.
Promised me right to my face. You guys are covered.
Okay, good. Thank you. And if you could give us some rain in California, I'd really appreciate that.
That's some scary stuff, Francesca. You know, we joke about it, but that's scary stuff. That's like you said, an Arizona state senator who went virtually and appeared at the AFPAC conference led by Nick Fuentes, who is, I'm not just throwing this casually, a white supremacist, Holocaust denier, anti-Semite. ADL did a really good job about his group Groypers. And then also there was Marjorie Taylor Greene, who showed up in person, and Paul Gosar, who has been an ally with him for the past year. These are white supremacists, not like alt-right adjacent white supremacists. I'm talking about white supremacists. And then Doug Ducey, oh, sorry, I don't know if that's his name, Doug Ducey or Ducey, whoever, the Arizona governor, when asked, hey, you know, Wendy Rogers is a white nationalist, he said, you can't even make this up, I'd rather have a white nationalist in state legislature than a Democrat.
I don't know. You made that.
Of course you would.
No. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.